Hey everyone. In this video, I want to share with you what I've come to realize is the most important quality you should seek when dating. And this quality is honesty. I've dated around quite a bit. I have a lot of dating experience, and I've just come to realize this is the most important thing. Honesty is huge. It leads to a lot of other great qualities like integrity and being able to trust someone and that sort of thing. Them being authentic, because if they aren't honest, they're not going to be able to be authentic with you, and so on and so forth. Honesty is super important because it leads to other great qualities, but also for this reason. What's like one of the most important things that determines whether or not a relationship will stand the test of time? Communication. It's communication. And if the other person can't be honest with you, well, how great is your communication going to be? There you go. This is why I've come to realize it's like the most important thing for relationships, and it's the main thing you should pay attention to when dating other people. Because if the people you date, even from the first date, if they're unable to be honest with you to any capacity, that is not a good sign. That's telling you that this person probably isn't quite in a good enough space to meet you where you're at. If you are someone who works on yourself a lot, and if you're watching my videos, I imagine that's the case. I'll go ahead and make that assumption. So you probably want people who are capable of being honest. So look for that in other people. And the way you can kind of gauge someone's level of honesty is by being honest yourself. Even on first dates, share with the other person, open up to them, be vulnerable with them. And if you realize that they're unable to reciprocate that energy, if they're unable to be honest and vulnerable themselves, this is not someone you want to go on another date with. Now, I do have to throw in a caveat here, which is this matters the most if you're treating dating like trying to find a life partner, which I would hope you are if you're working on yourself, but maybe some of you are in that headspace of wanting something more casual, in which case, this probably doesn't matter all that much, but it's still, I would still say it's important. But hey, you do you. But definitely, if you're looking for a life partner, I would not continue seeing someone who is incapable of being honest. So if you're opening up to them a lot and they're getting kind of uncomfortable, or they're getting more closed off, they're throwing all their boundaries and walls up, that's not a good sign. So in my case, I would often not go on another date with a woman who is incapable of being honest with me from the very beginning. Because I've just found out it's not worth it so often. Usually if she's not capable of being honest, she's emotionally unavailable or has other issues she's working on or just isn't mature enough, and I don't want to date women like that. So take my word for it. This is really important. You want to find people who are good communicators, even during the dating phase, because that will tell you how they'll be in an actual relationship. And as I said earlier, good communication truly is the main thing that determines whether or not a relationship will stand the test of time. I mean, it can be as simple as this, really. Honesty and the communication that it allows makes it so you can determine whether or not you and your partner are on the same page, or when you're dating, of course. Because if you're on different pages, if there's that disconnect, sometimes that can make it so that there isn't any possibility for the relationship to stand the test of time. A great example of this would be, let's say you want kids and the person you're on a date with does not. That immediately tells you there's no long-term future here, because there's a huge disconnect with an important life goal that you both have. You want kids, they don't. Like, that's hugely important, and it boggles my mind how people will marry someone who they have a disconnect there, because that's just incredibly important. So honesty will allow you to figure out those things way early on so you can determine whether or not there's going to be a future with this person. Because remember, you should be dating to find a life partner. And if you are, then you're going to want to know these things. So you don't want to go after people who are incapable of being honest, because you're not going to find out these things until you've invested too much time and energy in the person. And now you may find out you wasted all that time and energy. I mean, I would say, as long as you're enjoying the dating experience, it usually isn't a waste of time, but still, like, we only have so much energy to date people, and even so much time. So if you're spending a lot of time and energy on someone and there's no future with them, you could be missing out on all these people over here who actually would be better for you, because maybe they want the same things you want. They're on the same page as you. This is why honesty is huge. Basically, dating is almost like a process of trying to figure out how similar you and the other person are when it comes to your life goals, your dreams, your hobbies, and other things like that, so you can determine whether or not you actually want to go through life with them by your side. So if there's a disconnect on any really important things, like obviously they don't need to be the same as you on everything, but you need to have the really important things at least somewhat similar, like as I was saying earlier, both of you wanting kids, being on the same page there, at least having similar religious views, because that's another huge thing, maybe even similar political views if you both care about that enough, although that one's not quite as important, but things like that. You need to be on similar pages. So that honesty, that great communication will allow you to figure all those things out sooner rather than later. So this is just why I've come to realize it's so important, not only for figuring those things out, but then once you're actually dating them and heading towards getting into a relationship with them, they'll be able to communicate with you on a day-to-day basis. They won't try to make you read their mind or any other dumb crap like that. Like, even if you're good at being able to read your partner, you shouldn't have to do that. They should be adult enough, mature enough to communicate with you. You don't want someone who's got that maturity of a child and they expect you to read their mind and know everything they're thinking in that exact moment and everything they're feeling, because that's unfair. They have a mouth, they can communicate, they can tell you what they're thinking. They don't need to make you guess like that. So communication is huge, and it only comes from honesty. So just seek people who are honest when you're dating, and you'll save so much time and energy that you'll probably come to realize, as I have, that it really is like the most important quality you should seek in other people when you're dating. But that's pretty much the gist of what I wanted to cover in this video. I truly hope you enjoyed this one. I want to know your thoughts on this, so let me know if you agree here. Let me know your experience. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you believe there's a quality that's more important than honesty. But make sure it's not like a derivative of honesty, because if you think, for let's say, like authenticity is the most important thing, well, again, that comes from honesty. If they're incapable of being honest, they're not going to be authentic with you. So yeah, I can't really think of anything that's more important than this. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci.